Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at a show called Rescue HI Surf. Now, if you haven't seen it, it's on Fox and Hulu. So this show is one of the most frustrating shows for me and Brittany to watch, and we are just like cringing the whole time. And since we've been watching it, I've been like, I got to make a video about this. This is just, they do so much stupid stuff. Like I have to say something because like I look and like nobody's really talking about this show, and I'm like, I got to be the one. I guess that's me. So Rescue HI Surf, it's about the lifeguards on the North Shore of Oahu, who in real life is like the most prestigious, hardest working crew, like super insane. They deserve all of our support and respect. If you come here, always listen to the lifeguards. Me, I listen to lifeguards. I've been told to don't go in the ocean one time, and I wanted to really bad, but they like pointed out where the current was, everything. I even told them like, I've done this before. And they're like, no, today it's different. And finally I listened, and I'm glad that I did. The utmost respect for the lifeguards here in Hawaii. But the show is like, I feel like it doesn't really show them the best way sometimes. And I feel like it's even not that good of a show. And I'm like, okay, either be a good show, like have some crazy drama, or be a good representation of lifeguarding and like be one of the things is like halfway in the middle. And so I just wanted to point out some of the funny stuff, some of the weird stuff that I noticed in this show. Okay, so here we come to the very first frame of the show. It says 3-story waves breaking in 2 feet of water over sharp volcanic reef. Now, I have been dragged on the reef at Pipe. I have like been slammed on the reef at Pipe. I've swam the reef at Pipe when it was small. It can be sharp, but it's not really. Like it's mostly like a slab of concrete, and there's like some barnacles that could get you. Like the barnacle is the worst thing. It's not breaking on 2 feet of water. Like for that to be happening, it would have to like, there'd have to be like a sharp cutoff like this, where it's literally 2 feet, and it would have to hit and then just be like this fat, like it just can't do that. Like, and it wouldn't look like this if it was like this. So it's actually like 6 or 8 feet deep where it breaks. You can still hit like really hard, and the lip can push you down into the reef really hard. Like I've hit the reef there on big days when I was taking videos with a camera out there, but it's not 2 feet deep. It gets 2 feet deep, where it's 2 feet deep, like almost ashore, but then the wave isn't really like riding anymore. It's like just the crumbling whitewash, and that can mess you up because it's so turbulent. But like 2 feet of water, whereas breaking into 2 feet of water, I don't think so.
We're gonna go clean up the Airbnb, get ready to check out.
Meet you right here in 2 hours. Okay, go get him, Tiger.
Okay, so I don't want to play too much of it, but basically he's about to go out at Pipe. They're right there at Hukai Beach Park. He's ready to go. I've done that many times, been ready to go, but I don't just go alone. Like even today I wanted to go, but then like Brittany didn't feel well. And so it's like, hey, I can't go because I don't have someone to watch me. Because it's like, even though the lifeguards are there, like I feel like the people that go surf, they at least have like a friend on shore, like they know someone, like they do something to have some kind of safety measure beyond just the lifeguards before they go out. You'd have to be so stupid to just go there and have nobody on shore watching you, because like when you go down, like the person that's there just watching you, they're going to notice and be able to say something probably before the lifeguards can. Not to say the lifeguards aren't watching like a hawk, but they have a lot to watch, you know, whereas someone watching you is only watching you. So me, I would never paddle out there by myself alone like that.
Surf Pipe before?
No. Paddle straight out as hard as you can. The current's gonna drag you north. Just keep paddling.
Don't get caught inside.
And don't get in anybody's way.
Scared, man?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so that part was actually kind of real. I've had an experience just like that, except for you have to be the one to ask. Like the pro surfer isn't going to come up to you and be like, hey, are you scared? Like I went up and I was like about to go and shoot, and I saw where people were getting in and where the current was taking them. And so I think I went and asked someone like, hey, if I get in right here, am I going to end up at Pipe? And they're like, yeah, because the current's going to drag you like across the shallow part, and then you have to like fight through this thing, and then you'll be able to like dive under 2 small waves that are like on the side, and then you'll be there basically. And so that was kind of real. Just except it's like, I don't know, it makes it seem like you just show up and people are like, hey, coming to surf at Pipe? No. Okay, so then we see the guy take the wave and like the hair that he has, like this bleached top is so iconic, yet the stunt double or the clip that they use doesn't have that. And you can see that he doesn't have that. You can see he's on a different board. And so to me, it was like, so like, it just takes you out of it that it's like, they couldn't even match the guy up unless he was supposed to have just gotten hurt from just paddling out, which would have been a lot more real as if he couldn't even make it out. Because if you're not like even that drop that you saw him do and making that turn, that is so insanely hard. You have to be so good at surfing to make that drop and like get into the barrel like that, even to have the chance of getting pounded by the barrel. And so it's like, he would not have made that if he was like this novice surfer that they're making him out to be. So that's just like my problem. Like, this is just the basic, like my little problems with how they made this show. Like, at least make it like a little bit more real. Cause like, I don't know, I guess a viewer would think that a novice surfer could just go out and just catch at Pipe and like, you wouldn't even get the chance to paddle into a wave without getting dropped in on. Like you wouldn't even be able to get a wave. Like if you just go there and you come from Florida, which he later says in the show, like it's too not real.
Let's go right here.
Hey man, I got something.
Okay, so my next big gripe with the show is that they will like have the locations move around like crazy, which I get when you're filming that it's not like, you know, a beach background is a beach background. It doesn't really matter. But then they talk specifically about different locations. So what we're going to see here is that these kids are diving for treasure, doing some stranger danger stuff. They may have been inspired by me. Very cool. And they find this gold necklace.
Check it out. Gold chain.
Okay, and then he finds a watch, and then a wave comes and kills him, basically. Like, when you can dive and see the bottom, when it's like clear enough to actually see things, there's not waves. Like, the two aren't at the same time. And so you like literally can't dive for treasure like this while there's waves. Like, we have to wait for like the flattest summer days to be able to go do this. And they're acting like they're doing it, according to the show, it's like September. And they're acting like they're going out there while it's a north swell. They just showed Pipe, so it's apparently like the same day or within the couple same days. It wouldn't be clear. You wouldn't be able to see stuff while Shorebreak is pounding, and you wouldn't go dive for stuff. Like the kids in the show are local. They would just see that it's waves. They would be playing in the waves, not trying to dive.
Uno. Yup. Buff and Blue, 2018.
Rich kid, how'd I know?
Yeah, where'd you grad?
Roosevelt.
Right on. Should have a spelling contest.
Swimmers in distress near KQ Beach. Towers and mobile units, please respond.
Okay, so quick sidebar. Laka right here is, to me, like the one likable character on the show. And what's actually really cool about him is that he actually was a Waikiki lifeguard. So he is probably the one that's there that's like, this is how we can make this more real, and probably also cringing at some of the stuff that happens because he's like, bruh, these writers are making this so weird and so silly, and like it just couldn't be this way. But he's like the one real good character of the show. I actually enjoy watching him. I think he's a good actor, even though he's pretty much acting as himself. And so, yeah, he is like actually funny and real and good. And you can tell he's like a good waterman, the way that he like moves in the water. Like some of these actors, they won't have the stunt double. They'll be actually doing the stuff themselves. And it's like, it would be hard for me to find an example to like really point it out, but they'll be like doing something and be like, okay, you would never be able to like paddle, surf, whatever, do the stuff that your character is doing, like, and it doesn't look real enough when they're like not athletic in that way, if that makes sense. Okay. Oh, and then what they just said was respond at Keiki Beach. So 1, we're at Keiki Beach. According to this, we're at Keiki Beach. Okay.
I can't feel my legs.
Just try and float. Okay.
Okay, so as they show this part, it's obviously not at Keiki, but that's fine. To me, that part doesn't matter. If they have the background not look right, whatever, that doesn't matter. I'm not saying like it has to be, they have to film everything at the place that they said that they were. But then the next thing you'll see, you'll get what I'm saying. So partially right here, I'm like, okay, maybe you should kind of film at the location because the waves that they show are like very soft, like wind waves. I know where this is. It's not pounding Shorebreak. Like to me, it should look like pounding Shorebreak where the kid just got hurt from pounding Shorebreak where they're trying to make the rescue, because that would add to the challenge of the rescue, is like trying to get someone out at Shorebreak. And in fact, I think if like on a big day, if they're rescuing at Keiki, they wouldn't even try to take you in at Keiki because the Shorebreak is so intense. They would take you on the ski to somewhere else and then get you out of the water there.
Going in?
Yeah, 256 Alpha.
It's 100 yards away, my guy. What are you doing?
Okay, so I couldn't find the clip where he first calls it in, but you can see that he said 256A for where they call them to the beach, which you can see here. And this is where I have the problem. So this is not Keiki. Keiki is like 28, something like that. It's something different than this. And to me, it's like either just say like we're responding to a call at Mokuleia where this is, or say like that it's a Keiki and then go to that beach access and like use that beach access, or at least change the sign so the sign matches Keiki. Because to me, that's like, that makes it real, you know? Whereas this is like, it's as if the beach isn't real. It's like a fictional place. And to me, this is supposed to be real. So they should use the real places and at least be all the same when they're speaking about a real place. And again, they don't necessarily need to show the background. Just it's like Keiki should match up with the beach access code.
You didn't know the response location.
It was the kid's first day, all right? Luck, I should have called that on himself.
We have to know the person sitting next to us in the tower knows how to do their job.
Okay, when it's your turn to be captain, you can do it your way. Until then, we're doing it mine.
Okay, so I haven't rewatched it like 5 times yet to get every detail and everything, but then I feel like the captain is supposed to be local, like from Hawaii, but then to me he has a very vivid Kiwi accent, and when I was watching it, I was like, why does this guy sound so Kiwi, like from New Zealand? And then I went and looked, and the actor is from New Zealand, which is fine if they're like, this is a New Zealand guy, because the other like white guy on the show is from Australia, and like there's foreign people that come and do lifeguarding here, which is great. But it seems to me like he's supposed to be local, but then he doesn't speak like a local person, and it almost seems like he's trying to suppress it. And so I'm very confused by where he's supposed to be from and how all that plays out, and like, it's just, that part isn't really making sense to me. And so I don't know if he's supposed to be from New Zealand in the show, or if he's supposed to be local and the accent is just bad, which would be ugh. Okay, so we open up as episode 2 with this dorky family on their way to go hike, and this seems real so far. I'm like, what does it have to do with lifeguards? Wondering, but okay. And then they're here in this water,
Time to get going.
in this stream. I can't imagine ever taking my family to like a stream and being like, okay, go splish splash around. Seems a very weird activity. A more normal activity would be like going to a waterfall, cliff jumping, that type of thing, but okay. And then this. So what kind of flash flood just shows up on a sunny day? It's like they just turn the water on, and it looks so bad, like a set. Like there's just something at Kualoa where they can just switch the water on, and then it dumps in, and then they can make these flash flood things, or make these flash flood scenes. And it looks so ridiculous. And then still watching it, I'm like, what does this have to do with the lifeguards? And what we're going to find out is that she gets swept out to sea somehow, which again makes no sense, because if you hike up, then it's a long ways of like going through the stream to end up in the ocean, and things don't just wash out. Like they have to go over a bunch of like shallow things. Like it's not like this was like a 10-foot deep stream, like a river that she got into, that she ran out of. Like it was a 2-foot deep stream. She could literally just wait till she grabs onto a branch or something. Much more likely to drown in that from the turbulent water, getting your head hit on a rock, something like that, which apparently she never did the whole way out to the ocean, and made it to the ocean relatively unscathed, where later we find her hanging on to a tree branch waiting for rescue. So we see her out there stranded with all this debris, and it's sort of like they make it as if the debris is only in this one area, but really the debris would be coming all the way from the river. And you can see this in the example of like this JOB video where the river opens, and this is what you could actually be swept out in, okay? And so you can see, even though it's so turbulent, this like hard line of brown where the blue connects. And I don't want to scrub through and find it, but it gets even more vivid when it's been going on for longer and all of this brown water comes out and goes into the ocean. So there's like this intense line where you can see where everything is going. It's like so obvious. So if this was to be a real rescue, they would just go to the river mouth and then follow the path out to like where the other debris is, and then be checking all the debris. But it gets worse.
You did it.
Yeah, but that was different.
If she's out there, this is the only way we find her.
No, that's an order.
Guess you're just gonna have to find her.
Tim, take that.
So it's the equivalent of like driving a truck up into the mountains and then being like, I'm going to go look on foot. And then one of them is like, it's too dangerous. Don't go beyond this point. But swimming is different, because they're not looking for her like underwater. They're looking for her at the surface. And you have a much better view higher up, like up on the jet ski, than you do swimming. Swimming, you can't see very far, and you have to like kick up to try to see. And you really like can't see far, especially something that's low. And so if they're just looking for the debris pile or like trying to find the girl, swimming is like literally the worst way. And what she claims in the show is that she's going to like jump in and let the current guide her to where the girl is. But then it's like, why didn't you start at the river mouth to do that if that's what you were going to do? Like, go put the jet ski in the river mouth and then turn it off and it will drift exactly the same. Like maybe very slightly different effect from the wind pushing it versus being a swimmer in the water. But still, it's like just the wrongest way to go look for someone. Why would they do this? Why would they use this as the example? Because I think the story of like going and looking on the jet ski, it still has value. And it didn't need to be like someone getting lost also, because now there's just two people to look for. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Give me another beer.
Anything?
No. We'll make our way back. What the hell was that? Call for help, Channel 9 now!
Okay, so on the side of this search and rescue mission that half the people are doing. They ask this guy to help look, who's a fisherman out there. And he apparently runs over a free diver who's just out there by himself, which is like so crazy to me to be out there alone. But then like he has the dive buoy, which should make it obvious that there's a diver there. And then according to the story, this dude is so drunk that he couldn't see that there was a diver in the water with the flag and everything, and just runs him over. And what was the diver doing? Like, didn't hear a boat coming towards him? Like me, if I hear a boat coming towards me and I'm under, I do not go up. Like I'll just wait. And then I'll be like looking to see if I see a boat anywhere before, like as I'm approaching the surface, if I have to breathe. But it's just like, how does he just randomly hit a diver? And then this isn't like, it doesn't become a key part of any of the search for the girl later. It's just like a random tangent that this is all that happens. He hits a diver. They come and are like, hey, that was messed up. You shouldn't have been drunk. We're taking your boat from you. And then he's like, and that's it. Like you would think that it would at least tie in some way or something like that, but nothing. I'm like, what was the point of this? Just filling time. So homegirl's just out there drifting, waiting to find someone, which is like the dumbest way to try to find someone, as far as I'm concerned. Of course, somehow it works out. But then she has to swim there because she doesn't have the jet ski, so it's going to take a long time. And then by the time she finally gets there, what do they have? 2 people together, floating, still in the ocean, doing nothing. So what? Still have to wait for rescue, but now it's 2 people.
Okay. Here we go. You're doing great. There you go.
Okay, so they come save her, but I'm still like, bruh, how did this girl end up all the way over here? Like, and they couldn't find where she was actually gonna be. I just, come on.
Ed, Amber!
Okay, so the jet skis finally get to the debris pile, and you can hear the girl yelling before you can see her, which is just like, you would see the jet ski near you and you would just start waving your arm. That's all you would do. You would not need to scream, maybe whistle, but like just waving your arm would be enough, unless you're like straight in line with the sun. They can't see you because you're in the sun. And then still, like, just, it wouldn't be from going out and sitting in silence and hoping that you hear the person yelling. It just makes no sense. So they finally get rescued, but it's by the guy swimming up to them instead of just the jet ski pulling up. Why have the jet ski if you don't use it? Is the jet ski just to get you to a close place and then you have to go swim to rescue them? Like, no.
Okay.
He's safe now. Get me on. Come on. Tim?
I'm coming.
Okay, and then homegirl is dying from swimming for what, 2 hours? Like, it's like my normal dive. That's like easy. If you're that type of person, like, she's a lifeguard, she should be fine to swim for 2 hours. And we'll talk more about that in a sec. Okay, so then they swim back to the jet ski, and like, the jet ski cuts through all the debris, no problem. Like, okay, there's logs, whatever, go slow, like, don't try to go fast through it, but the jet ski would not mind to hit some debris. It would be okay. So this part almost makes the most sense as far as locations are concerned. They did start the hike at Kualoa, like I can tell from looking where everything actually is. But if they would have had them start the hike at Waimea and be like up in Waimea Falls, something like that, and then they fall into the water, whatever, and then a flash flood comes, and then the river was already open, whatever, then it goes out into Waimea, and then they get rescued in Waimea, like the whole thing would make sense. And so it's like, I just wonder why they didn't try to like tie in locations better and like make it more real with the locations, so that then people that are watching that are going to want to come visit can be like, oh wow, that was that place that we saw in the show. Like, I feel like it would make the show better and would be able to tie into people visiting here better, which should be what you want, because you want the show to be something that like everyone that comes here watches, type of thing, you know? And so I feel like if they made it like that, where it was like, this is like all happening at Waimea, then it would make more sense. And so she's being brought up on the beach at Waimea. They showed the church tower and the jump rock and everything. So it's like really obvious where it is. And to me, it's like, it could just be a better story if it was all like in that same place. Like it's like the Hawaii cinematic universe can be real, you know, instead of being like a bunch of fake locations where we pretend that things are happening and really it's all like just on set. So then we see her battle scars. I'm not going to pause it on there. Britt was like, this is so gruesome, I don't want to see it. And I'm like, it's so, like, even having your knees banged up, it doesn't even look like that. Like, who's the person doing special effects? Except no offense to the person doing special effects. They probably live here. I don't really mean that it's that bad, but it's like, to me, it doesn't look like what you would look like when you got banged up on rocks and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what it should look like, but it's not that.
Hey,
Hey,
how you feeling?
pretty good. Probably gonna go for a run. Why?
Well, you should head to the hospital and get checked out.
Okay, so they're acting like she has hypothermia or something from her little 2-hour swim out there. And even on the coldest days in winter, if you go out and you're there for like 3 hours with no wetsuit, like you'll be cold, but you won't be like hypothermia, especially if you're swimming around. And she had a wetsuit on. So I'm like, I'm watching this and I'm like, did the writers write this as if it's California? And they're like, oh, if you're out in the ocean for 3 hours, you might have hypothermia and you might need to go to the hospital. Like, no, like we can go out for like 5 hours and nothing happens. Like it's the middle of the day. It's warm. It's sunny. Like it's okay. And so I'm just like, why are they acting like homegirl has hypothermia or something when it's like a regular day in Hawaii and she swam for a couple hours? Like that's like, there should be drama. It's a show. Obviously it needs drama. There needs to be things happening, but it should be stuff that could happen, not getting hypothermia from swimming in Hawaii for too long. It doesn't make any sense. So I got about halfway done packing up my recording stuff before I realized that I did not close out the video. I planned on doing the 3rd episode also, but then, you know what? 2 episodes in one seems like enough. If you guys liked this and want to see more, I could do the next 2 episodes basically like just looking at all the crazy stuff that's wrong with them. It's like an okay show, but I feel like for Britt and I, like the entertainment is that it's so ridiculous. So if you guys have watched it and you think that it's ridiculous, let me know. Also, if you think that it's awesome and you're like, you're telling me that I'm totally wrong, let me know. I would love to hear it because I want to know what other people think, especially people that don't live here, what you think about this show. And I mean, people that live here, like, I feel like we all must feel the same way. And I really want to know what local lifeguards think, because if they're watching it and they're like, yo, this is a sick show, then I'm just totally wrong. So let me know what you guys think. Go check out the show yourself. Yeah, just it's crazy how, to me at least, how silly this show is, but we can't stop watching it. It's like watching a train wreck. We can't look away. So thanks for watching, guys. Smash like if you enjoyed this, and we'll make more of these if this video does well, of course. And Fox, please don't copyright this video. It's used under fair use. And also, even though I was talking smack about the show the whole time, I would love to be on it. So if you're a casting director for Fox or for the show, please let me know. I'd be very happy to do a cameo. That would be epic for me. And that's it. Okay, that's all the stuff we saw. Bye.